Hi lovelies. So this is like my first vlog. Well, actually that's a lie. I used to have a YouTube channel like way back in the day, but mostly because I was unemployed, and again, I am unemployed now. Oof, I have no idea how to start this. I just thought I'd sit down and start recording, and because I'm trying to sort through something that I've been struggling with over the last week, which is basically, well, actually it's been more than a week, it's been my whole life, where I spread myself too thin and I take too much on, and I think that I can do all the things that I want to do in my kind of, if you've heard the term multi-potentialite life. If you've never heard of a multi-potentialite or multi-potentialism, you can Google it. There is a great TED talk about it, but boiled down, I guess, a multi-potentialite is someone who has the potential for multiple things and has like a ton of interests and kind of gets sucked down into this wormhole whenever they find a new interest. And that's basically me. Most recently, that has turned into me deciding that it'd be a great idea to have a weekly newsletter, a blog, a podcast, and a TikTok account. In my personal opinion, I don't think TikTok is going well. And I find it frustrating and interesting that I can derive so much value from the numbers on an app like TikTok or Instagram. I don't want to base my value, and I don't think any of us should really base our value on, you know, stats like that or algorithms. Mostly because I think it can give us an inflated sense of, or a skewed sense, not an inflated sense, a skewed sense of our personality and how much we are liked and how likable we are. Anyway, but I have been spreading myself really, really thin, and I think I think it'll be an iteration. I was gonna say, I think I finally come to the realization that I can't keep doing that I need to prioritize and refocus, like other people have told me plenty of times. I think I will always keep reiterating on my life and changing how I do things based on how I'm feeling or how burnt out I feel. So this is just kind of the same thing. I can totally imagine that at some point in the future, I will decide that doing this other thing and trying to write a book or whatever it might be will come up, and I'll be like, or being like the best roller skater. I don't know what it might be. But I can totally imagine that at some point in the future, I will pick up a couple more hobbies or a couple more projects and think that I can still do them alongside the stuff that I'm already trying to do. In which case, I will have to go back and reprioritize again. But for now, the thing that I'm struggling with, or the thing that I've been thinking through really, is where to put my focus when it comes to writing, podcasting, and doing illustration work. So I am going through a process of reprioritizing, and yes, asking myself the practical question of what is going to make myself money in the short term. I think it's going to be illustration commissions and trying to sell illustration work, just because it's something I can kind of set up. It's something that I'm already starting to do, and basically hoping that just more commissions will come in. Or more freelance illustration work will come in. Like it's definitely not money in the short term. It's not like I'm making bank next week or anything like that, but it's something I can kind of like tangibly work towards. Hello. I was just about to go for a walk, but I just wanted to show you what I got in the mail today. Something I've been doing, I almost tripped over a pile of books. Something I've been doing in the past week is trying to figure out how to basically reset and revamp my wardrobe. I've gained weight, a lot of my clothes don't fit anymore. I'm also getting older and just thinking, you know, what is my style? What are the things that I like? How do I look more put together and basically not like a 10-year-old boy? This past weekend I've been watching a lot of videos about how to rebuild your wardrobe. And a lot of them have been talking about having a color palette that matches your undertone and the colors that you like and all of that sort of jazz, so that you can build a wardrobe that is at least color-wise cohesive. I created a color palette and I will put it here. This is the color palette that I've come up with, And if you'd like to know more about how I came up with it, I can do a video about that. So one of the things that people in videos that I watched said was A, choose a color palette, but one made the really good point that you should kind of come up with your proof of concept. So she suggested, rather than going out and being like, I think I'm going to be a person who wears a lot of frilly things or puffy sleeves, rather than going out and investing in those pieces, that you can maybe find something that's similar to that, or maybe just buy one piece or buy something secondhand that fits that aesthetic that you think you want to try on, and basically just see if it's something that you think looks good on you and that you actually enjoy wearing. So for me, my proof of concept is bike shorts. So one of the other things that I did to kind of figure out my style was not only to come up with a color palette, but to also go on Pinterest and look up a bunch of different styles that I thought I would like. And so I've now created a style inspo Pinterest board, which I can share if you're interested. So I've been focusing a lot on oversized t-shirts and bike shorts. I haven't owned bike shorts in ages. I used to have a couple of Koto ones that I used to wear as, if you're familiar with the term, never nudes. So they're basically shorts that you wear under your dresses so that you don't feel super exposed. And now I really want them because my thighs rub together and chafing sucks. Like, it really sucks. Anyway, let's open this package. So from Cosmic, I bought bike shorts, and I also bought a couple of these Lucy and Yak skirt coveralls. I think these might be what I live in for the rest of summer. They suit a lot of my needs. They're very flowy, they're open, exposed in a way that's nice. For some reason, I feel really safe in denim. The funny thing is, actually, they sent me 2 of these. And so I had to email them and be like, hello, I actually only paid for one. How do I send the other one back? So what I got in my other Cosmic order is, first off, this pair of sweatpants. Again, this overall coverall, I don't know what to call them. Basically another Lucy and Yak dress overall. This one's an extra large. I'm interested to see how it is once I put it on. Just because, so the denim one is large, this one is a cream corduroy, and this one's an extra large. And then the last thing I bought, which I mentioned earlier, is bike shorts. I'm not sure how excited someone should be about bike shorts, but I'm pretty excited. So this is Cosmic's, again, their hemp line, along with the sweatpants shorts. So that's everything that I bought. I'm sweating in this sweater because I was about to go outside. So now I'm gonna go for a walk.
Before you educate the head, try to educate the heart.
Did you see me trip over that rock? Yeah, it's okay. I got back up. the front of my like ankle area that really hurts. It's just really tired. It's like a part of the body that you never use unless you're doing something like roller skating. I was planning on staying out here for an hour, but I think sometimes it's just good to call time on things. I think it's good that I made it outside and that I did, you know, like, I don't know, 8 back and forths or something. And now my legs are tired, so I might go back inside. Okay. Hello lovelies. I am sweating so much. I cannot wait for it to be colder, and I'm so glad that it's autumn right now because I'm not a summer baby. I dislike it greatly, especially in Auckland where it's just super humid all the time. So the sheen, it's sweat. It's not anything else. Anyway, I'm running a bit behind this morning, but I thought I might give morning pages a go. I know that you're meant to do it kind of like first thing in the morning, not at 10 o'clock after you've already done a bunch of other stuff. But I thought I'd just start giving it a go. I'm trying to introduce more mindfulness practices and things that will just kind of help keep me grounded this year. My word for this year is grounded, just because I feel like I don't really know myself that well anymore. And I've just felt really flighty with my depression and anxiety, just really untethered a lot of the time, kind of feeling quite lost and not sure what I'm doing, especially since I left my job and started doing, trying to start doing freelance and making art my full-time career. So yeah, this is me trying to introduce some grounding practices into my life. Well, I just finished my morning pages, so now I'm going to get stuck into doing some updates on a daily and weekly planner sheet that I have made, that I'm going to get tested by a bunch of people who have very nicely agreed to through Instagram. Thank you so much if you're one of those people. I guess just to be a little bit sincere, or I don't know, or what's the word? Not frank. Like it's vulnerable. Yeah, anyway, one of my dreams is to open a stationery store, and so I'm trying to create things like productivity tools and other things like that, like downloads and planner pads and stuff like that people can use to try and work more productively when they have the energy to do so. I'm really wary about how I talk about productivity now after reading this book. I have it right here under a pile of paper. This book called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. You can see all of my little like sticky notes and stuff like that and bookmarks. Basically, if you haven't read this book before, I highly recommend. Oliver Burkeman used to write the column in The Guardian called This Column Will Change Your Life, and where he looked at a lot of things like human psychology and productivity tips, and he tried a bunch of stuff out. And basically this book feels very much like a culmination of all the things that he tried and tested. And essentially, he's come to the conclusion that all of us on average have 4,000 weeks to live, which is not as much as many people think we have, and that eventually we will die, and that time is not a resource that we can use. Really, time is just our life. It is the river that we are a part of, that we are in. We are the river. He explains it much better than I do, but that we should take that kind of grim reality, that grim realization that we can't actually use time more effectively or efficiently. It's not a resource that we can use like money or anything tangible and physical. Knowing that, we should endeavor to manage our energy more than we do our time, and to really examine what we're spending our time on, and in reality what we're spending our lives on. I feel like I've explained that really badly, but I do think that this book is really worthwhile giving it a read. If you want like a little taster, there's an episode of Control-Alt-Delete hosted by Emma Gannon, and she talks to Oliver Burkeman about this book, and that's how I found out about it. And I think that's a really nice taster and intro to the book and the whole premise of what 4,000 Weeks is about. So lovelies, here is my new week planner. I'm creating these little cheat sheets to kind of help people use the planner sheet for the first time. But I do need to make some tweaks to the actual design of the planner. This is my new day daily planner. I like how they've turned out. Like, I'm not super stoked. They're kind of like the first draft. One of the things that I feel like whenever I do design work is that I just never feel like it's quite right. And I guess part of the process of being a creative, being a designer, being an illustrator in particular, from my experience, is that you're trying to figure out, why does this not look quite right to me?
I think that's how I'm supposed to approach poetry now that I say it out loud. I remember feeling very confused when I went to a museum for the first time, because I'm like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how I'm supposed to think. And a lot of people were like, Fran, you're not supposed to feel anything. Just notice what you feel, and that's a good way of approaching art. You're not supposed to.
Hello, it's now 5:35, just past 5:35. I usually try and schedule, I'm trying to do this new thing where I go on a mental health walk every day, and there's like one path that I follow through the local park, and it just makes things a lot easier because I don't really have to think about like, oh, which path do I want to take, where do I want to go. I just walk the same route and then I come back, and that's my mental health walk. I've been sitting on my computer all day, and so I'm pretty tired, and I kind of got into that, you know, that like deep funk state where you're kind of like, you've been staring at a computer for too long or staring at something for too long, and you're like, maybe I can't be bothered going to do this activity, or I'm just gonna mooch here. I'm just gonna sit here and procrastinate and then just like look at all my social medias and just do nothing. So I was almost like, maybe I can't be bothered going on this walk. But this is the whole point of habit building. That's pretty much the reason why I need to go on these walks, is to get me out of those funks and get me outside and kind of thinking outside of my head. I've got a few things going on in my head at the moment, trying to think about this new website and this new Patreon page. So I'm kind of going to go take myself on this walk, have a chat to my husband about what I think I should do. Yeah. Today is Thursday, I think the 10th of March. Yes it is. What's been going on? So it's been a bit of a slow morning. It's already 10:30. I've just been trying to do some sketching practice. This is what it looks like. Just me and a little sprout. I miss being able to have chai lattes out in cafes. I'm wearing this super baggy koto dress today, which has been really fun. So I just kind of drew that. Not good at feet, so I never draw them, but there's my attempt. I saw this amazing knot pillow on Instagram yesterday, and I really, really want one, but it costs like $150 US, and it costs about $60 to ship. So I'd really love to support them at some point. And yeah, it was like a crushed green velvet knot cushion, and I loved it. And then obviously the bowling started, and this is me trying to pretend that I'm in this little cute cozy jazz cafe drawing while this noise is going on outside. you.